one thing that's been on my mind, and I'm sure everybody has seen it on their timeline, is the young lady who stabbed her employer, not just her employer, her supervisor, multiple times, 6 times, killed her. She was asked to leave, and then 5 minutes later, she came back into the building and killed her, stabbed her up. Now, this is wrong. There is no way to even describe how her family and kids and everybody's going through so many types of emotions, because the young lady worked at that McDonald's for like 25 years. She's a supervisor. She was loved. And there's always 2 sides to everything. Even if you may not ever want to, acknowledge it because it's too hurtful. And I just want to dive into that very quickly with all due respect, because I definitely understand this is a sensitive topic. So if anybody sees this that's related, friends, family, my heart goes out to you. And I really mean that. So the young lady who actually did the killing, we're going to call her Miss Muhammad. I believe she changed her name twice, but that's the name that she's going with now. She's from Virginia, actually. She's not even from Georgia. She's from Virginia area. She did a stabbing prior. I don't know exactly what came of that. However, she was able to change her name and she was able to attain appointment with McDonald's. Now, we definitely can't stress enough. Supervisors, managers, anybody that's in an authoritative position, you have a responsibility. Now, I've done my research. This young lady is not the only one saying that the manager was curt, rude, has stolen hours, meaning that they don't work over 60 hours. They actually did. They look at their check and it's a discrepancy. And if you try to have an issue, then you basically get terminated. I've seen text messages that supported this, that, she was definitely not the best supervisor. Does that mean you get killed and stabbed 6 times? Absolutely not. However, when you look at the young lady's TikTok and her Instagram account, it's been all over the timelines on social media. She looks disturbed. There's no 2 ways about it. You check the bang out, it's disturbing. The orange wig, the messages prior to the incident, that's why they're getting her on premeditation, because she's saying there will be hell to pay. The universe will show you, and this gotta stop. And there's definitely things that were leading up where she could have just quit. She could have quit. However, thing about crazy is you could be crazy right or crazy wrong, but if you're dealing with crazy, it could end just crazy. So this is a cautionary type of message to anybody that's a manager or supervisor in those roles, because McDonald's, let me tell you something about McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Powers Ferry in Georgia, the McDonald's on Powers Ferry Road in Georgia. Let me tell you, my boss name was Tamika. She was supervisor. She was mean, very nasty. And I was in college. I had, at Clark Atlanta University. It was my 3rd year. So it was just something that I did in the summer. And I understood that this was just that mean time in between time type of deal. So I could grin and bear it, basically. But if this was actually my career and I had to use that paycheck to support my family and I had to deal with her, I don't know. Just another sidebar. My mother, she worked for Novo Nordisk, and her boss was so mean, right? And to the point where she, had a lot of long days. And fast forward, when she had retired and it was all said and done, Doug, her supervisor, actually committed suicide. So although he treated everybody like pure crap, he was actually obviously going through some internal things. So on both ends of the paradigm, we just have to be more cautious as a people. Whether you're a supervisor or if you're any other role, we all have to be cautious of emotions and how we talk to each other and the things we say. Because we all have a kill switch. I don't care if you don't have mental illness, you do have mental illness, you are on the higher echelon of things as far as your pay scale is concerned. Nobody is above reproach. Everybody has that tick-ticky boom. Everybody has that tick-ticky boom. So we all have to be more cautious. But definitely when you're a supervisor role and in a situation where you take pleasure, or you actually, nobody's checking you and you're allowed to just speak in any manner or do whatever you want to do because you're a supervisor. There are people that are not rep tight. There are people who have mental illness. There are people who this is their last straw. We just saw the Tyler Perry movie. Everybody was in support of that young lady. And I'm not comparing the two. Definitely totally different. But as far as being at your wit's end, if you look at this young lady's TikTok, she's telling you that she was almost SA'd, sexually assaulted, because she was using the app where she was doing basically odd jobs, cleaning, things of that nature. And she basically went into the wrong home because the guy was like, I want you to clean this. You know what I mean? So she said that she didn't do it, and that she actually on the live, she said, she thought about it. So it just lets you know her mindset. You see her living situation. I believe she had like an air mattress, or a mattress on the floor. It was just the wig, the bangs, the movements, the type of songs definitely let you know that she was in a space where she may have been at her wit's end. So that idea of that movie of Tyler Perry, I think what resonated with people is the idea of the last straw, like your wit's end, like you just can't take it anymore. Of course, we definitely understand in the movie she lost, her daughter, and it was a breaking point, and there's a lot leading up. But at the end of the day, when I did my research, if it's multiple people, it's not just her saying that this manager was something else. They basically says she stole from them. If you work overtime, you'll never see it, because the way she processes it, she's the manager, the way she processes it in the system, it's as if you didn't have that time. And when you do go to complain, it's basically you're going to get fired. And if that's your, if you, rent is renting, and if that's what you have right now, takes at least, even if you was to quit that job, you're not going to get another paycheck for at least probably 3 weeks, maybe even a month, depending on how the payroll falls and then the hiring process. So people say, just get another job. Why didn't you get another job? Well, I mean, if I'm at my wit's end, my last straw, and I need this, I can't get another job because rent is coming and I can't be behind because they got late fees, and then I have to get to work. Have to eat. Like everybody, I don't know if she's receiving benefits. I doubt she was. Maybe she was. I can't. I have to do my research into that. But when you say, does that matter? I guess to say, like, it does matter. Like, groceries is crazy. So if she's not having no stamps. She's working at McDonald's. She's doing these odd jobs. She's getting, I definitely believe she was getting picked on. What? The whole world is picking on her. At this tragedy of the young lady dying in the McDonald's has definitely been overshadowed by how many posts have been targeted to mock her, to pick on her wig, to pick on her, say she, just by appearance, she looks XYZ. So I'm in this world. I live day to day just like everybody else. That boss was going in on her. And if the boss felt like she had to keep sending her home, why send her home? Let her go. Just fire her. Like that's picking. Like, if you understand, if this employee you have to send home so many times because it wasn't just a one time or 2 time, then you need to let her go. And then again, supervisors, if you're dealing with the public in a high paced type of situation and employees, they can lose it. So handle them with kid gloves. Be sensitive when you talk to them. Yes, it is your responsibility, because at the end of the day, when you're an authoritative figure, leadership, everything begins with you. So every attitude, attitude doesn't have to always be bad. It could be a positive attitude. So everything is the start of you. So it reflects the leadership. Teamwork, all that reflects in the leadership. So this is definitely not a post to criticize the victim. This is a post to enlighten and let the world know we're targeted and speaking in a manner like, we have a lot of supervisors that are moments away. How many times have we seen so many things on social media where people flip? So let's be mindful, people, especially if, again, you're a supervisor. Watch the way you talk and definitely follow the rules. You're not above reproach. And at the end of the day, the workers that are on the lower end of the total pole, they make the world go around as far as everything. They're doing the hard work. Yes, billion-dollar company McDonald's is, but it's nothing without employees like her, and she definitely is going to have to deal with that in her own, in her own mental space, however that looks for her. I definitely, I just want to send prayers and blessings out to both sides of the family, and that young lady. Definitely, I just can't see one other post where it's just so like, just, if you're going to speak about it on all sides. And that's all I have to say.